Alright, so it's time for another product review video. This came into my local hobby shop this week, so I'm excited to get it out of the box, play with it. I've had it on pre-order for a while now, so been eager for it to come in so I can have this on my layout. It is an Athearn, standard Athearn, not a Genesis, not a roundhouse, Alco RS-3. It's painted for Burlington Northern. Let's get it out of the box here in just a minute. Hi friends, my name's Steven and this is my channel, Signal Up Productions, where I make videos all about trains. Before we get into this product review, you might notice the background's a little bit different than most of my other videos. I either do the product review videos over on my workbench or up at my friend Lee's house on his UPSF joint line layout. But it's about time I get a new layout myself, and so I'm going to start doing a lot of my product review videos here on my layout. I'm not ready to introduce you to the layout just yet. I'm still getting a few bugs worked out and finishing up some track projects, and then I'm going to do a full video introducing you to this layout, but I thought I might give you a little sneak peek while we're doing the product review video on the RS-3 to kind of see in the background a little bit about the new layout coming up. So if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure and hit that subscribe button, so as soon as I'm ready to reveal all the details about this layout, you'll be one of the first to know. Okay, let's open this box and take a close look. Well, we'll just go ahead and open up the box end here. Now you'll notice that all the new locomotives that are coming from Athearn, they are all LED models, headlights and stuff. This is, I bought the DCC Sound version, so it's equipped with a Tsunami2 made by Soundtracks. The cab number is 4056. It's painted Burlington Northern green. Looking forward to seeing how this sounds, how it runs, and it is equipped, we'll look at it real close in just a second, but it is equipped with a beacon light on the roof, on the cab roof, and I believe that that function works in the DCC Sound Ready model. The box does come with a couple of pieces of paper, a diagram of the model, quick start guide if you get the Tsunami2 Sound version, quick start on the different sound and lighting functions that come with it. Also included in just about every Athearn box is a reminder not to forget to sign up for their newsletter. That way you'll never miss out on any of their product announcements. I know a lot of friends who see me buy new models and then they're like, oh man, I didn't know they were coming out with those. Well, they were announced like 2 years ago. You have to pre-order that stuff. You can't just you know, hope that you'll get one. Well, you may, but it'll cost you an arm and a leg more than it already does. So anyways, looks like there's some extra, I better move that. Some extra little parts here in this little poly bag. Some kind of lift ring. There's 3 of them in there. They're painted being green, so to match the car body color. Ooh. I really like Alcos. I really like RS-3s. When I was a young teenager, my family went on a trip to French Lick, Indiana. And in that town is the French Lick, New Baden, and Southern Tourist Railroad. They had some kind of Alco RS1, 2, 3. I don't really know the difference of them. I just know it was a model similar to this. Of course, it was not painted Burlington Northern. It was just this type of locomotive. And I got a cab ride in that for the entire length of the trip, through the tunnel and everything. It was just a highlight memory of my teen years. So I've always wanted some kind of Alco RS type switch engine. And the only way I could incorporate that into my operating scheme, even though I model contemporary modern Union Pacific, I've got a museum train. So I'll just say I've got a museum that's adjacent to the main track. And that way I can run the older stuff as I please, some older F units, some older small steam locomotives, tourist cars that have like the bench seats on flat cars and stuff like that, and then examples such as this. So I'm already, I mean, for an Athearn model that's not a Genesis, I'm seeing tons of rooftop details, tons of really fine molded on body detail. that I'm very impressed so far. Let's take the camera up a little bit closer here. And if we see, hopefully you guys can see this. I'm trying to do better lighting for you guys. That was a request in one of my videos, that the lighting get a little bit better. So, okay. And if you can see right here, we've got a see-through fan with a nice, shiny, etched metal, 3-blade, stainless steel looking fan there. The hinge details molded on to the prime mover cover there. The prime mover cover's got some slotted detail, vented louvers or something like that there. And that looks really nice. And I'm really impressed by the diamond tread pattern on the walkways. It goes all the way around the model. I'm pleased to see that it does come with a 3 chime. Looks like probably a Nathan K3 type horn on the model. I'm assuming that's probably somewhat prototypical. I know a lot of the Alco RS type units, switch engines like this, delivered from the factory from Alco in the 50s and 60s, probably had single chime horns, like a Leslie A200 or something like that. And I don't really like the sound of single chime horns, so I would have upgraded my model to something 3 chime anyways, just so I would be able to have that sound. I like that sound of a 3 chime a little bit better. So let's see here. We do not have any kind of pilot detail. There's no MU hoses, no coupler uncoupling levers, train, airline, nothing like that. The footboards on the model, they're just molded plastic. They don't even have any kind of texture to them. I would have expected some kind of diamond plate tread pattern or something on that. See, there's just nothing there. It does have a brake wheel on the end. It's got some MU receptacles there. So it's possible that the MU hoses would not have been there if it's got the receptacles on there. I would assume it would have. So that might be something I add myself. I may see if I can find some prototype pictures of this locomotive on the internet. The ends of the handrails are painted white, and the rest of them are molded in a green color that matches the car body. And then for cab detail, I don't see any kind of detail on the cab. So the cab is just empty there. You can see the weight. You see the weight in there. You can see the wires going to presumably to the beacon light on top. So we'll get that on the layout and we'll find out what function that's on. The body does have good detail on it. I'm just a little disappointed that the pilot detail isn't there. You know, I mean, at least air hose for the train line or uncoupling lever. So I can probably bend some out of brass wire and paint it up. Let's see if we look on the underbody here. Not really any kind of piping to speak of on the air tanks there. A little bit. There's no traction motor cables, anything like that. So I mean, again, it's not the Genesis. It's not the Genesis model. I'm sure if it was, it would have had those details. It is equipped with the plastic McHenry type knuckle couplers. I'll probably upgrade those to some KD 158s just to be standard with the rest of my fleet there. I'm a sole believer in KD couplers. I've been using them since I was 10 years old and they have yet to fail me. And I don't know that I've ever got a bad one out of the package. Also, the steps and the step wheels there, you can probably see, they don't have any kind of texture to them. They're not see-through or anything like that. So the diamond plate pattern on the walkways is nice, but then that's as far as it goes. There are some wire grab irons on the end of the long hood and the end of the short hood. Oh, I see now. That poly bag that's got the extra. Let's see if we can, there you go. Those lift rings, I can see they're on top of the roof here. There's one there and there, and then a third one down here. So that's just a replacement for those, I suppose, if they fall out or they break or something like that. But quite honestly, I'm not going to keep track of that. I suppose I could put it back in the box if I decide to keep the box. And if I don't, then, I mean, I'll probably just toss them in the garbage. Well, that's it for the body detail, and the truck detail, the roof detail, the end pilot detail. Nice looking model, but more importantly, how does it run? Oh, now, there's something I'll notice right now. On the side cab here, on the, let's see, would be the engineer side, we've got 2 windows on that side. But on the conductor side, we can see that's 3 windows. So that's interesting that they would have thought to include that. I wonder how accurate that is for this model. If you are an Alco RS-3 expert, feel free to leave me all sorts of information in the comments. I'm eager to learn more about these. If you want, ask me something about an SD40-2 or a SD70 Ace or AC4400, something within my era, my time frame, I suppose, I could probably give you some information. But these older locomotives from the 50s and 70s, it's just not my era, so I'm not super familiar with them, just what I've read on the internet. One last thing about the body. Side sill here, we've got the F forefront, noting the long hood is the forward position for this locomotive. And that would make sense then. We've got the horn, 2 of the chimes on the horn are facing forward and 1 for the reverse. We've got a firecracker antenna on the roof. Now let's put it on the track. Whew. That's pretty loud already. Well, let me go ahead and call up the number here. So factory default is going to be at address 3. Any new model you get from the factory should be on address 3. So I'll call that up on my Digitrax throttle here. 3. Oh, apparently I had 8 selected for that that address. But anyways, holy moly, that is a really loud horn. So I'm going to have to program that down, that volume down a little bit. And how about the headlight? Oh, the headlight is already on. It's not super bright from the side, but if you look straight on, it's fairly bright. Here, let's see if we can get the camera down there for that. Just a minute. I mean, you could tell it's on. Be fine for nighttime operations, but one of the drawbacks to, you know, a lot of these companies are using LED lights, but they're using a light pipe still, and then they have the light way back here in the back, and then they try and light pipe it up, which looks fine when you're looking head on, but then when you move off to the side, the lighting is just too focused in that regard. Versus like here, you know, these are the older incandescent bulbs on this Athearn engine. And as you can see, they're pretty bright, even from the side. You can still see them quite a bit because the bulb was actually up in the housing. So one modification we could make is we could take off their LED headlights and wire in some like some 0402 headlight LEDs right up into the housing, versus any kind of light pipe where they're set back from the housing some. But I don't know, that'll be something I do down the road. Alright, so I'm going to pull it out here on the main track, so I need to line my switch. And then, so speed step 1 jumps right out there. There's probably no momentum built in, unlike say like an ESU decoder, which comes with a little bit of momentum already already programmed into the sound file. So here's a speed step 5, which I think is kind of fast for step 5. So, but it'll have to be it'll be speed matched with the rest of my fleet. Okay, let me line that switch. It's not super smooth. I mean, it could use some a little bit of programming with the speed settings, the starting voltage, and the speed curve, because it's I mean, going right into step 1 up to step 5. I mean, it's just really takes off so fast. There's not a whole lot of transition from one speed step to the next. Speed step 18. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's, as I keep pointing out, that's pretty fast. Let's see what it is at 99. Oh man, Lightning McQueen over there, Speed Racer. Wow, yeah, that's really fast. Yeah, I need some momentum, and we're going to slow that. We're going to slow that puppy down quite a bit. Not even sure the real Alcos ever went that fast. Now let's see if we can find a function for that beacon light, because I like lighting features. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. There's 3 is a short horn. 4, I didn't hear anything. Oh, there's the beacon on 5. That's pretty neat. And I can actually see that from the side. And I think, yeah, you guys can too there. So, which is pretty good. The last couple of engines I've got from different manufacturers that have had working beacons like that, that LED is so far down in the body, they think the light pipe's going to bring it up and then disperse that light, but it really only makes, you know, it's only noticeable if you're looking straight down at it. And even this one, I mean, looking down into it is brighter than the side, but it's definitely seeable from the side, so I like that. Alright, so I've got it on a little piece of test track here, and I've got my KD coupler height gauge. Set that down so it's flat on top of the railhead, and the trip pin is just right. The coupler head, it's all perfect on the front. And we'll see what we got on the back here. I'm sure it'll be the same. Usually if one's good, the other's good because they're on the frame. But, and yeah, I don't see any issues with that trip pin or coupler. Looks to be right on. Now let's check the wheel gauge. One thing I do want to point out here, let me get it up here to the camera where you can see that I noticed there's quite a bit of play in the wheels inside the truck there. I mean, there's a lot of lateral motion there between all of it. So I could see that just, you know, kind of rocking back and forth going down the main track. But I mean, get right around the layout here, so can't be too far off, can't be too bad. Alright, so the wheel gauge says that that wheel's just right. Same with that one. And that one. And that one, yep. So all the wheels are engaged on this model. So that's pleasing. One last thing. Let's put it on the scale. It's not super duper heavy. We'll see what it weighs into here. Zero out the scale. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. And the verdict is just over 10 ounces. I wonder how that compares to, let's see here. Let's try modern equivalent to the RS-3 is the genset from Atlas, and it weighs in at 15 ounces. But of course, it is a little bit longer of a unit, but still not by much to make a 5-ounce difference. So I'm wondering if, you know, they probably sacrificed some frame weight for that speaker, because that speaker sounded intense. That'll be one engine that I don't upgrade to scale sound systems, because whoo, that let me know it's there. So we got a 10-ounce locomotive, and all the couplers are in the proper gauge. The wheels are engaged. There's no obvious damage. We're only lacking a couple of small details on the ends of the pilots, but the beacon light was a nice touch. The fact that it works on a standard Athearn model versus it's not a Genesis model. And it was bright enough to be seen from the side. However, the headlights were a little lacking from their side visibility. I would have liked to have those LEDs just a little bit closer to the front of the headlight housing, so they'd be a little more intense to be able to be seen from the side of the model. And I doubt that, even looking dead onto them, how bright they were, I doubt they would be bright enough to actually light up the track in front of them if I ever decided to do a nighttime operating session. So that'll be something that I consider whenever it comes time to run my tourist train on the main line. I'll just have to do that during the daytime. One last thing I'll point out is that the locomotive does not come with any kind of power pack or keep alive on the motherboard. Earlier, whenever I pulled it off the track to check the coupler height, as soon as I pulled it off the track, it died, versus, you know, some type of capacitor system. It probably would have kept the sound going for a few seconds after I lifted it off the track. So keep that in mind. There's no keep alive on the model. And you know, as you saw, the details that it lacks, but the details that it's included, you can decide whether or not that fits your level of detail that you appreciate, and if not, whether or not you want to even purchase that model or consider it. I'm very happy with it. Love the sound, love the beacon light, and now I've got something to pull my tourists up and down the main track whenever Union Pacific lets them out on the higher island. Thanks for joining me for this video. I had a great time. If you have any comments about this locomotive or any questions, leave those in the comment section down below. Then share this video with your friends, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.